is Vivi. I am here at the Sun Valley Kitchen with a recipe for today that's perfect for Cinco de Mayo. Today we're celebrating Cinco de Mayo in Denver with a delicious salad on top of a tostada. It has black beans, it has corn, tomato, bell peppers, and it's topped with a little bit of cheese so that it's more delicious. This is a super simple recipe, very healthy, very quick. And we will learn how to make our own dressing. So are you ready? Let's get in a colander. Ready? Let's do this. With the beans, it's a little bit easier because it has one of these top cans that you just pop and you open. And it goes on my colander. And I want to make sure all of the juice goes to the bottom because I want my salad to be very clean and for me to be able to tell the difference between the corn and the beans. Now this is a regular can, so I will use a can opener to open the can of corn. And friends, so if you have one of these at home and you know how to use it, great. If you do need help, be careful because the edge of a can is always going to be very sharp. I want to make sure that we are safe and that you keep all your fingers. So my can of corn is open and it goes in with the beans. Make sure you get everything out of the can and then just give it a quick shake. And we are going to let this drain for about, I don't know, like 30 seconds to a minute. I will slice the lime like so. Remember, always keeping your eyes on the knife and your fingers away from it. And in my spice mix inside of the jar, I will squeeze the first lime half. All you need to do is you need to make sure that all the juice goes inside of the jar, okay? And so that we don't waste any, we make sure we do this and make sure all the little juice that's left goes in there, okay? And then my second slice of lime goes in and I am squeezing the whole lime in there. I may not need the whole dressing for the salad. I may want to keep some for later in the fridge. It's gonna be delicious over lettuce, over an avocado, whatever you want. So all the lime juice is inside of the spices. I need to now close my jar really tightly. Okay, make sure the lid is very tight. Do you see how everything is in there? And this is the fun part of making a dressing. You shake. Shake, 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 shake. You can go around in circles. What you want to make sure is you want to make sure that your juice and spice looks like it's one instead of different ones. Okay, now I am going to set this down. Open it very, very carefully. You take your lid off. Oh, it smells so good. And the oil goes in last. Why is the oil the last thing we add to our dressing? Well, the oil is going to seal all the flavors inside of my dressing. So I want to make sure all the spices and flavors are mixed before I add the oil. The oil should be the last piece you put on it. I am going to close this really tight. And guess what's next? You guessed it right. We are going to shake. As you can see a little bit of, division between the oil and the juice. Now we shake. And shake some more until the whole dressing is mixed as one, and that is called vegetables. I have my green bell pepper that has been already rinsed. And what we will do is we will slice it in very small squares. The best way to do this is you always have to have a knife that you are comfortable using. If you don't want to use a big kitchen knife, you can always use a butter knife or a plastic knife. Make sure you always keep your eyes on the knife and your fingers away from it. So I will show you with this knife and put my kitchen knife aside, okay? The first thing you will do is you will slice the top off of the bell pepper. In this case, I am going around and around and around. As you can see, I took off kind of the lid of the bell pepper without taking it all out. Do you see? You can try that at home. And now I am going to do the same thing and I am going to slice the end. and you use your knife back and forth as you rotate the bell pepper. Okay, there we go. This is my second lid. Do you see? I see the little seeds in there. Isn't that funny? That looks like it has a face. Oh, it's smiling at us. Okay, so now we are going to lay the flat side down and cut just one opening. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the seeds off using your hands, okay, that have been really, really well washed. This goes into the compost, okay, and you have a little bit of a flat bell pepper. So now what we need is we need to take out the white parts, which are called the ribs. You know, these are like the ribs that you have here in your actual body. They're called the ribs. Isn't that funny? So we will slice. Okay, I'm gonna cut my bell pepper in 4 parts, and I will take the ribs out. Okay, so that I have 4 slices that are kind of flat. And that is going to be so much easier for me to cut the bell peppers. Do you see now? Maybe you can have 5 or more, or you can have 1 long flat bell pepper. But we have these little chunks, and now we will cut length. Okie doke, let's show you how to do this. And you are going to always, remember, use your fingers as a claw. See how this knife is letting me make really nice sharp slices of the bell pepper. And I want to think about what size the corn and the black beans are, and cut the slices, the little, squares about the same size. So how do you make a square? You actually go and cut this lengthwise. So we are going to grab maybe 4 at a time and make, see, this is like a 4x4 dice. Do you see? It looks like little 4s in my bowl. And you will keep on chopping this until all your bell pepper is actually cut in squares. Okay? It is very crunchy. It is actually kind of sweet and refreshing. And as I mentioned before, it has the red and the green, that both of them are very Mexican colors because they're part of the flag. So it's pepper tomatoes. We want from our tomatoes about the same size as the bell pepper, so everything is the same. Now, as I said before, these are very, very little baby tomatoes, but you can use any tomato as long as you try and make the same size. So you are going to use your claw in a pinch motion, slice a tomato in half, okay? Set the flat side always down and cut it in half again, and pinch and cut. Now we have 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're gonna cut them in half, so that out of each tomato, you get about 4 little pieces. And you do the same thing. You grab another tomato that's already been washed, slice it in half, flat side down, pinching, slice in half, slice in half. Maybe the tomatoes are gonna be a little bit bigger, but that is totally okay. They are going to add the color that we need, the freshness that we need. And if you have a tomato that's too big and you wanna do more than just 2 cuts, but you wanna do 3, that's totally fine. Woo. That was slippery. And I will continue with your tomatoes. Good luck, keep on chopping yours. Okay friends, look, all my tomatoes are ready. I will use the best tool that you have, your hands, to slip them in the bowl. Make sure all of the seeds and the sauce goes in there. Perfect. Okay, my tomatoes are ready and my bell peppers are ready now. So this is a scallion. You can also use any sort of regular onion, red onion, purple onion, white onion, however you call it. This has been already washed, but do you see how it has like an extra little slippery skin? So you can always take the first layer off. If that doesn't come off, that's okay. Yours doesn't have one. So I will, again, set it down. Careful with your knife. Actually, you know what? Let's flip it on this side. Ooh, there we go. I will make the first cut and take the first part off. And we're going to use most of the white parts. The green parts are a little tougher, not as tender. So we're gonna try and focus on the white and light green part of your scallion. So we are going to set it down. take off the very top. This goes in the compost. I am putting a little pile here on the side. And again, use your little claw and make very thin slices, okay? If you very much like onion, then you can make very thick slices, and that would be great. I would recommend smaller slices than the tomato and the green bell pepper so that it's not super overpowering, but it's also just really yummy and fresh. Okay, now do you see how my scallion kind of starts separating into different parts? I will take that off and use the tender part only. Now these are great. You can use these to make chicken stock or soup or whatever else you want, or put them in the compost. But I want to make sure, because we're eating it raw, that only the tender parts go. And this part is kind of getting shredded, so that's okay. We just don't need that. In goes my scallion. Okay, now let's talk about how I'm trying to keep my station as clean as possible. I have a towel over here, okay? And notice how everything is in the bowl. I'm trying to keep very clean my cutting board. And when I'm done with all the veggie chopping, all the extra stuff that I had, is it bowls, is it, I don't know, extra veggie scraps that I am going to put in the compost. Before I do my next step, I want to make sure my station is very clean. So I will take this to the compost. I won't need my cutting board anymore. So I will take this to the sink, wipe my station so that we can follow the next step, and then we're ready to finish off our salad. We are ready to assemble our salad. Our corn and bean mix has been draining. Our dressing is ready. We're gonna give it a quick second shake. All my veggies are prepped. Now all I need to do is mix it all together, okay? So I will put my corn and my beans in there. Again, using my clean hands, make sure you don't waste anything on the colander. Now I will grab a spoon and toss it very gently. Oh, look at the colors already. You have the green of the bell peppers, you have the purplish black bean, you also have the yellow corn. Doesn't that look like a fiesta already? I think it does. Okay, and the hardest part is the shake. Just kidding, the easiest. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. And what you are going to do is you're going to pour about half of the dressing. Okay, make sure the lid drips in. So let's see, I'm gonna do half of the dressing and toss it. Why am I doing only half? Remember guys, some people like things a little bit spicier or saltier or with more flavor, and some people just want a little bit of flavor. So what I am going to do is I'm going to toss it really well, taste it, and then see if it needs some more. So I will put this in my hand, and then of course I will wash my hand, but I will give it the first taste and see if it needs more dressing. I think I'm gonna use all of it so that it's stronger, okay? I am wiping my hand. I will wash it in a second. Pour the rest of the dressing in. Give it another quick toss. This is actually a lot of really yummy salad. Okay, it smells really good. I will give it another try. So good. It's perfect. Now let's. Nice. I have a plate with a corn tostada. It's just a corn tortilla that has been fried, so it's very crispy. You can have this at home, or you can just plate it on top of just a regular plate and eat it up. Okay, this is super versatile, which means you can do different things. So I am going to scoop some of my Cinco de Mayo salad right on top of my tostada. Don't overdo it. I always overdo it, but then you regret it later. But you know what? If you want to overload it, that's okay. And we have some Parmesan cheese. It's dried, it's salty, it's very cheesy. You can use cotija cheese, feta cheese, just a little sprinkle of cheese. And it's ready. Our tostada ready, drum roll. We'll see how this crumbles. so good. The tostada is crunchy and crispy, a little bit salty, and it balances my beans, my corn. The tomato is very fresh and bright. The green bell pepper is super crunchy. The salad is not spicy at all. It has a lot of flavor. That garlic salt, you don't even need regular salt. It's just perfect. So I will give it one more try. Ooh, I already broke it. It's okay. Look, it's perfect. Refreshing, delicious, very simple. You can make this at home and add chicken if you want to. You can add shrimp, you can add shredded beef, you can add chorizo, cooked whatever on top of this. You can just eat it like that and make sure it's like all vegetarian. But most importantly, you have to make sure you put a lot of love in it and make this for somebody you love, starting with yourself, okay? So thank you so much for sharing time with me. Please give me your comments and feedback. I would really appreciate them. Bye.